In today's video, I will show how to make an Electro House track in the style of Knock2. His tracks are known for their huge drops, aggressive basses, and high energy arrangements that keep the crowd moving from start to finish. To do that, we'll break down the key elements behind his sound and build the track step by step inside FL Studio. Let's start by setting the right BPM, something around 128 and 132. We can already start the track with the vocals, so I found this one from Knock2.
Can you hold on to me, tell me everything's okay? I didn't know that I would find love all in.
To build the melodic part, we can use a piano, so I randomly took this one. I usually start by laying down the lower notes first. Now I will start stacking a few notes on top. They are not really full chords yet, but they help create a richer harmonic foundation. Here's what I have so far. We still need a main melody on top. Next, let's add some instruments, like this guitar bass. Instead of jumping directly from one note to another, I added these slide notes in between to give the bass line more movement. I think we can add another layer. Right now the bass sounds decent, but still lacking the weight and aggression you'd expect from a Knock2 style track, and to get that we'll need to do a bit of processing. The same goes for the second layer. Once both layers are sounding good on their own, we can route them into a single bus and apply some additional processing to glue everything together. For the harmonics, I'm using these presets from the Overload pack. On its own, it doesn't sound that great, but in the context of the track, it helps fill things out. Then we have the lead for this intro, which is made up of two layers. This first layer is more like a square wave, and the second one is there to add some dirty texture. To make this lead sound heavier, we need to add some distortion. However, when you add too much distortion, you can end up with some harsh frequencies. That's why EQ is important. We can tame those frequencies. I also like to use Synths. It's a really useful plugin for reducing harsh frequencies automatically. Here's the sound without any processing. And here's the processed version. When we put out the instruments together, we get something like this. To make the bass and the lead cooler, I added this pitch bend automation. One thing that really helps create a Knock2 vibe is this harp. We also have claps supporting the groove. To transition into the build-up, I'm using this impact sound. In this section, we have the combination of the lifters and risers to start building tension. We have these snare rolls, which gradually increase the energy as we get closer to the drop. On top of that, there are a few extra risers throughout the build-up to keep increasing the tension. Another technique is to taking some of the sounds from the preview section and stretching them into long sustained notes across the entire build-up. And with the automation, we can gradually raise the pitch. For the vocals, I chopped them up. Now it's time for the most important part of the track, the drop. For the drop, the first thing we need is a solid kick, which we can get in the Overload pack. I'm layering an acoustic kick on top, and only keeping the high frequencies. To complete the drum groove, we have claps, hats, and a top loop to add some extra high-end energy. We also have this ride and white noise to help fill out the mix and make the drop feel bigger. With the drums in place, the next step is adding the bass. For the bass, I'm using 2 layers. The first one is the sub, and the second layer provides most of the body in the mid frequencies. On the sub bass, I like to use Soundgoodizer to add a bit of warmth along with the sidechain. For the mid bass, I'm using a low cut EQ, some saturation, OTT, another EQ to tame a few harsh frequencies, some fairly aggressive compression to control the picks, and of course the sidechain. At this point, we have the full chords playing in the drop. This is actually the same synth we used early in the intro, along with an additional detuned layer to make the sound wider. As for the processing, I'm using OTT to help glue the layers, Soundgoodizer to add some brightness, and a few EQs. One thing worth mentioning is the sidechain. As you can see in this track, I'm using LFO2 because it gives much more control over the envelope shape. This allows me to create a very precise ducking effect whenever the kick hits, which helps the drop feel tighter and more punchy, just like Knock2 does. If the shape is too hard, you can use the depth settings to adjust it. I'm also using this filter plugin to automate the cutoff. Before we move on to the drop lead, I want to quickly show you something. If you're looking for modern EDM samples to produce tracks like Electro House, Bass House, or pretty much any other EDM genre, check it out, Overload. Overload is the exact pack I wish I had when I started producing. Inside you'll find over 500 samples, 100 stream presets and project files all designed for modern bass and electro house production. If you'd like access to the same sounds and production techniques used throughout the song, check out the first link in the description. Now back to the track, we have the main lead, which gives us most of the character of the sound. On top of that, I'm using 3 additional layers to support it. When all these layers are combined, we get a much fuller and more powerful lead. For each of these layers, I applied some individual processing first, then I routed everything to a buzz where I'm using OTT, distortion, EQ, soothe to clean up any harsh frequencies, some reverb, compression, EQ to tame the very top end, and the sidechain. For this lead, I also created a few variations to keep the drop more interesting. And in the last section, I added this ARP to bring in some extra movement and energy. And that's pretty much the entire production process behind this track. Before we listen to the final result, here's a quick mixing guide for the drop. If you're having trouble balancing your tracks, try using these levels as our starting point. I typically begin with the kick at around -3 dB and then mix everything else around it. Keep in mind that every track is different, so don't treat these numbers as strict rules.